Hey guys, a bunch of people have been asking me about my workflow with o1-pro. So instead of just replying to every single message, I thought it would be a good idea to just spin it up and code one feature with it, explaining how I think about it so that you can learn what's my process. Just to give you some context, I'm a founder of fluar.com, which is basically something like a smart table in which you can define columns as AI agents and you can simply add information to it like so. So you can add a piece of information and then AI will process it, filling all the required data automatically. Now, one of the features that I wanted to build is the API access. So I want my users to be able to send a payload via API, not only having to open the UI to use my app. I've never built any like public API endpoints, so I don't know any best practices or anything like this. So I'm gonna use o1 to figure it out. So I'm gonna need two things for this. First one is the whisper flow, which is just simply stunning in terms of turning voice into texts. So it allows you to quickly spin up a long prompt just by talking. I have it under a hotkey on my MacBook. And the other thing is your MacBook, and then allows you to like select which files you want to attach to the context. Because with o1 you can attach a lot of files, any file that you think is necessary. Now we will follow this structure of the prompt. So first I define a goal, then the return format, then warnings, and then I dump all the context that I think is necessary for creating this feature, right? So I usually start with empty o1-pro, and then I just use the whisper flow to actually write my prompt. Yeah, so let's go. I want you to help me implement the API feature for my spreadsheet app. Currently, the users can add a new payload only via the UI, so they have to open the table, click on the row, and change the value. Now, I want my app to have a button which shows some like connect API, and then once the pop-up opens, they can copy-paste the code, which is basically the API call structure, and then they can send the payload, and depending on the project setting, the row can be processed automatically if the project is set up like so. That's how it works. Now, obviously this feature is a bit more complex, so I'm gonna add a bit more information to this. Please make it in a way that the payload is so this is my prompt. Now this is quite lengthy, but that's okay because like the better you specify requirements, the better the output will be. Now, I do have a template in my code base, which I can just copy paste, which is within the same format as I discussed before. So return format, then warnings, then context and a company. So I've already prepared the warnings in here. So please make sure to follow the industry standards for creating public APIs, etc., etc. And then for the return format, it's a little bit silly, so I'm asking for battle tested, executable, fun, grade code, and the problems are difficult, so you need to think about it thoroughly. So like some say it's not actually beneficial to ask o1 to think, but I do it anyways. And then depending on how big the feature is and how big the files are, I sometimes ask for full copy pastable files. Sometimes, like in this case, I just ask to return the diff files with the code changes. So it's easier for me to copy paste the files from one place to another and like understand what each line of code actually does, because I don't want to do it like blindly. I want to understand what my code has when I do it. Now the last thing is the repo prompt. So we have to open this and find my repo in the folder. And now I'm going to select the files that are relevant for this particular feature. Okay, so I think I got it all. Now the cool part about the repo prompt is the file tree. So you can copy the whole prompt with the file tree, which looks somewhat like this. And repo prompt already have the built-in prompts as well. So technically, you should use it in a way that you ask for XML diff file, and then you can apply the diff files to create the commits automatically. I never did this because I'm worried that I'm not going to understand the whole commit. So it's easier for me to like copy paste and debug if something doesn't work. What I do now, as you can see, there's like 23 files, over 30,000 tokens. So I just copy this one. Yeah, I forgot to copy the previous thing. So now I have the goal, the return format, the company and context. Now I copy this, and you can see it's like a huge file. I'm just gonna send it, and let's see what happens. Okay, so we got the output. It was reasoning for 4 minutes. I think the reasoning time depends on how well you specify the question. So the better it's specified, the shorter the reasoning time. Because sometimes I ask like a very simple question and it's reasoning for 7 minutes. Sometimes long context is reasoning for 2 minutes. I don't know, maybe it depends on something else, but that's my gut feel here. So now I have a lot of these diff files and I'm gonna copy paste them one by one to my code base. I do this because my project is kind of big, like it's a mono repo, a couple of packages, a couple of apps. So I tend to miss out on some key files sometimes. I miss the types, for example, and the code might not be 100% accurate, but like 95% accurate. So just copy pasting the files allows me to find the TypeScript errors immediately and fix them. This way, the process is faster. So I'm gonna copy paste the code and let's see how it works first try. One thing that I usually do before copy pasting the code is switching to another branch. So I'm gonna do it. And now I'm gonna move the code in here. Okay, so I finished. So I just want to show you how it looks like first try. So when I click on the connect API, now it says no key, go to settings to generate one. Fair enough, I didn't do it. The column schema doesn't work, but other than that, it looks very good. So I'm gonna go to settings and see if I can actually generate the API key. Oops, this doesn't work. Okay, let me fix that. Oh yeah, so I did not migrate my database. Obviously, you have to do at least 5% of work to make it work. Let's try again. This time it didn't crash. Oh yeah, I do have the API key. Yup, doesn't look the best, but now let's figure out why the records are not showing up. Okay, that was actually my mistake again because I did not pass the project ID in the props because I wanted to use the params ones. But now it actually works. So now I have to test it, I guess. Let's see if it's gonna work. Ghosty. Let's see. Okay. Okay, let's try this one. Something's happening. Cannot properties ID. Oh yeah, so I found another issue. So the team slug is in the team ID, but use team slug. This will help us here. So let's try again. So that was a success. It works. So the thing is, it worked the first time, but I just messed up so badly while copy pasting the code, and I didn't do the database migration because like it's hard to wrap my head around this when I'm recording and I'm trying to explain what's happening. So it took a little bit longer than it should be, but all in all, the code is great. It works and it looks awesome. Obviously, there are some stuff like these things needs to be fixed, but I'm super happy with it. Like we can try again. Jenny AI. And yeah, as you can see, immediately the row pops up in the UI and it's being processed by the backend. This is awesome. So it actually works very well, even though I was quite careless with all the copy pasting. Like usually I focus on what I do, but yeah, I think it's very much worth it to pay for o1-pro. Although I never tried other reasoning models like o3 Mini or DeepSeek, I don't know how they compare with o1-pro, because like since I paid for o1-pro, I want to max out the value from it. But yeah, this is very fun, and I love the fact that it already looks great. Yeah, if you have any questions, just comment this one. I'll try to answer. And I guess that's it. See ya.